Huh. That's gonna be a dandy. Look at that bed ride. Let's go take a look. Welcome back to the channel. This is happening again, not my head, this shop press. And you know, the thing I like about the online videos is y'all get to interact, and I actually like that this channel's a smaller channel because I have the time. I don't do it every day, so sometimes you gotta wait a couple few hours, days, but I can respond to all of y'all. And right away, we had just dropped a video on putting the air over hydraulic 20-ton bottle jack onto the Harbor Freight 20-ton press, and it was amazing. And right away y'all said, why don't you have a foot valve? Yeah, it's exactly what I told myself when I was done with this. And we actually do have a foot valve. However, I had kind of set it aside because we also have, and go back up here, there's a video on our purchase and modification of this, but we also have the Freight Harbor sandblaster cabinet, and we've got it working pretty darn good now. But one of the things I want to do for it is it gets really, I don't have it plugged in, but it's really hard on the bear claw to get, sorry, I'm walking around and stuff, to just hold when you're sandblasting, to hold that blasting gun inside the cabinet with the big, you know, arm length gloves and all that other stuff. So anyway, the foot valve that I had purchased was set aside for the blast cabinet. That's why we didn't immediately throw it on here. But y'all have asked and wondered and asked again why I didn't just put a foot valve on this. And you mentioned just how wonderful it is because yours has it on there. So we are going to install a foot valve today, right now, in this video, and I'll just have to source stuff for the blasting cabinet. Again, no big deal. Here we go. So, 20-ton press. We've got an air hose here with a hand valve. And probably a guy could, well, come on now, if he could get his fingers to work, we could probably turn this whole contraption into a inflator of sorts. We'll use this. We'll save on this valve, but we're not going to repurpose this as a foot valve because, well, could we? No, it's too chintzy. We're not going to do it. We have stuff purchased. Now, the first thing we know is the hose that comes with the 20-ton jack will not go down here. What we'd like to do is mount the foot valve here or over there, and we can just bolt another angle and make it flat. It won't reach either one of these, you know, bottom legs. So as part of my purchase for the blasting cabinet, just dropped safety glasses on the floor, we got this green air hose. I think it's a 5-footer from the Greatest Place on Earth, and it will. Now, the connection point is not centered in the jack, so it will reach the leg on this side. It will not reach if we swivel it around over here. I don't think we'll reach it on this side. So we're going to go that way. We're going to unscrew here, and then for mock-up purposes, we're just going to rotate this in here and check our length. Then we've got to do some, oh, don't step on what you just broke. Just dropped anyway. Then we got to decipher this guy. This is the valve that I bought, and I think it was a Flea Bay special, but we got to figure out, it's got, you know, I don't, maybe y'all have access to an in and out one fitting thing, but this has 2 ports on one side, 3 on the other side. I don't know why it's so complicated, but it is. But we're gonna make it work. We just got to plug some stuff and figure out how the airs flows. So this is the valve. We gotta sort that out. And then it does, however, have some pretty cool holes pre-drilled, so we can mount it right onto a section of angle iron that we can bolt then onto there, and then bolt this onto that, and figure it all out. Right about here, we'd like to go chicka chicka chicka, chicka chicka chicka, something like that. So that's where we need our hose to reach. All right, yeah, I think this is gonna work. We've got our little swivel end of the hose hooked up here. Again, just kind of hand tightened in there. It's gonna be long enough. And then we found a section of this pre-drilled kind of bent angle iron. It's from, I believe, when we did the ceiling in here, did our insulation and stuff, put our fancy lights and stuff. Go watch that video. We cut this out of the bracketries for the garage door when we made that a little nicer of an install. So we've got this, and we actually tagged onto one of the support bolts right here, drilled another 3/8 hole here. So this is where this bad ride is going to end up living, and it should, you know, work pretty good. Now, I was just gonna you know, save on the black hose that came with the jack, and I was going to use it on the blasting cabinet. But then I figured out that if we run this, and we got to figure out which way, you know, these different ports flow, but if we just put a nipple in here, it'll be sticking out. And you know, this thing's on rollers, and I don't want something sticking out where it can break off and stuff. So I think I got 2 of these jobbies. So I think we're going to do that there, and then bring the black hose up so we can loop it over here and put the actual connecting fitting onto here. So it'll have a leader hose on it, and then the green hose will actually power it. I think that will make me happier, and then you don't have to bend down every time, you know, to plug and unplug, and you won't have that piece of metal just sticking out the side. So let's get this valve up on the bench and figure out how it works. All right, so like I said, a little more complexical than I wanted it to be. It's gonna sit like this. The first thing I don't like about this valve is that it's not spring loaded. I wonder if we could maybe do something about that. I've got springs around here. Let's see if we could drill here and pull back down, but we don't have much room to pull here. We got this big valve body here. We got here that actuates. I wonder if we put a spring right here, it'll compress and then it'll push back maybe. Okay, this pin will come right out, it looks like. Yeah, it's just loosely fit in there. Oh, I hope I don't lose this. Ouch, that was my finger. There it goes. Okay, we didn't lose it. All right, pins out. Now, what do we have? Let's get some junk drawer. Let's check junk drawer first. There's a spring right here. Ooh, that's a, I don't know what that's from, but that's awfully stiff. Ooh, what do we got there? That's pretty springy. Anything else? Let's, huh. I have no idea what this is off of, but it, you know, just in the hand, it feels like it could be about right. Let's see, compressed length there. It's a little bigger diameter than I'd like. It's gonna kind of want to bend out of place, but I wonder, let's roll this up here, see if we can. Oh, look at that. Oh, I just lost my pin. Can I get my pin back? Put my pin in. Oh, missed it. I missed. Hang on. We are, oh, we're backwards anyway. We got to put the pin in through this side so it looks the same. There. Ooh, I think I got it. Ooh, looky there. Now see, it's got this bow in it. But let's... Oh boy, howdy, look at that action. On, off, on, off. No way. That's why you keep stuff in your toolbox trunk drawer. We're just going to kind of pretend that this is going to work. Snip this retainer back on here. Wow, 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 wow. Huh. That's going to be a dandy. Look at that bed ride. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to go this way. And we want air to come in here. I think technically air is supposed to, these are the possible outlets. What I think is one of these is open now and then it'll switch. So, but I don't know what the outlet is. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna do something real simple here. Let's say we want to put air in here, and I had to dig through my big old selection of brass fittings, but I think I got everything we need. Let's say we put air in here, and then we've got some plugs. We won't use this guy. We won't use this guy. And then we're gonna see which way air comes out of here. Okay, that's just leakage because this is all just kind of hand tight. Which one is it? Not that one. This one up here. So front to front. And we can go ahead and we'll plug off this one. So this guy over here is going to be our outlet. Okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it might be to figure out. Okay, we got updates. Had to take a break there and actually fix the car. We moved our bracketry to the inside here, and the reason for that is, again, we don't want stuff sticking out to where if we're rolling this around or walking by it or whatever, moving other stuff around, we're gonna break off this incoming air line. So again, just mocked up here, but now with the valve here on the insides, I mean, we're clean here. We'll take our hose up and droop it over. This won't be here because we're gonna have an end on the hose, and then on our other end over here, we will not use a swivel. We'll just clock it so it's pointing up this direction, and then hose to the cylinder, the jack, the pump, the press is right there. So that's that. Let's now we got to get a whole bunch of thread tape and wrenches and fittings and tighten all this up, And then we still have to drill and put a couple little bolts through these two holes to hold this onto here. Maybe we'll do that first. Nah, we can put all the fittings on. Okay, here we go. Now, some folks won't even use thread tape anymore. I still don't mind it. And in an air situation like this, I think it's good not to risk getting sealant into the air line, air passages, all that good stuff. So what you want to do to effectively wrap thread tape on something, whatever you're wrapping, face it towards you, the male end of the fitting, and then just wrap clockwise. That way you end this way, so as you're tightening this into something, you're not pushing against your end. See, on this one, you can't just wrap the whole thing one way, or you'd be on the wrong end here, and as you tried to screw this on, you would catch that lip and unroll that tape. So you do that end, flip it around so it's again pointing at you. And then we'll do this end. Okay, we're gonna jump ahead in the times a little bit. We're pretty much together. We'll see how this goes. I hope I remembered which two lines were connected with the pedal here, but we moved the bracketries to the inside. So like I said, here now when we're in storage, this guy's going to be up and out of the way wherever we hang him on. He's not going to be out over here in danger zone. So that's where we're going to hook up. We got a female end on this hose. These aren't your everyday ends, but we found one hanging on the hooks back there. So this is the old hose that came with this, and this is where we're going to connect the air. It goes in down here through the valve. The valve's bolted down with a couple 1/4-inch bolts onto the little angle bracket there. Everything's taped up. And then we have our new 5-foot hose just angled into here. It goes up, we got a little zippy tie, and then up into here. And then because I'm a little anal about stuff, I'm not too worried about this joint, but this joint, we don't want this just constantly hanging on it. So we got just a little bit of a springy there to keep us happy. So yeah, everything's, I think, ready to test. See what happens here. There's the air hose. Ooh, no leaks yet. Okay, we're connected. I don't hear nothing. It's not going. Valve shut. Oh, there we go. Let up. Nice. We'll get you this shot. So I can have both hands here. Tighten that. We can be holding whatever needs to be manipulated here and just come over here. I can even put pressure on this and just run it with my heel if I need to. Or I can tippy tap with the toe. That's pretty outstanding. Well, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. And you didn't really ask me to. You just said, why didn't you? Well, it was in the works, but you know what? You got me going, and I appreciate that. It's all done. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to that valve if I can find it. I mean, it's over a year that I bought that thing, that I've been sitting on it. But anyway, you got an idea. 100 and thousands percents do this to your press. Yeah, you're still $300 into this bad ride, or a tickle more. So appreciate you watching this one. We've got a bunch more stuff coming up, all kinds of fun and happy things. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.